Chance at 70. Embiid, coast to coast for 70!
As you may know, Joel Embiid dropped 70 last night against the San Antonio Spurs. And obviously the NBA Instagram account, doing their job, made a post about it. And in the comment section, there was one certain comment that caught my eye. 70 points used to mean something in the NBA. Or something along the lines of that. I don't know the comment specifically, but it's in the title, it's in the thumbnail. You see it. And I was like, I have to talk about this. Because obviously I could see where the guy's coming from. There haven't been a lot of players in the NBA, in NBA history, who have scored 70. And the fact that four of them have come in the past like 8 years, 7 years. And then if you want to say 3 of them have come in the past 2 years, which is even crazier, I can see where the guy's coming from. Because it used to be 70 points rarely happened. Of course, you had Wilt, who went crazy. David Thompson had his game back in like way back when. And we had David Robinson, Kobe with his 80 points. And I'm pretty sure that's about it. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. I'm probably missing a guy or two. Maybe John Havlicek. I don't know who I'm missing. But you get the point. It's not a very common thing that has been happening over NBA history. But then Devin Booker dropped 70 in 2016, 2017. It had to be 2017. We also had last year, of course, Damian Lillard and Donovan Mitchell, each with their 70 pieces, and Embiid with his 70 piece. This year, well, this night. So it's become evident that scoring has evolved in the NBA. Of course, with Steph Curry being one of the greatest players of all time, his shooting is another level, and 3 is more than 2. So of course, people are going to score more. People are shooting the ball more, especially outside the 3-point line. And the efficiency of NBA teams got better with teams like, for example, the Rockets having a super efficient system where they only shoot 3s and very close to the basket. And the better teams get at that system because it can backfire on you, like when the Rockets missed those 27 threes or whatever in that one playoff game. But it can also benefit you if you make your shots. So, and that's really a big thing when it comes to great scores, man. Because another thing that happened tonight was Karl Anthony Towns, he dropped 62. I mean, this is somewhat related because he scored a lot of points, and I'm talking about players scoring a lot of points, but he got fouled at the end of the game. Refs didn't call it. It was blatantly a foul. I could maybe put a clip of it here.
Over to Towns, spinning in the lane, lost the handle. And Leaky Black on the season, Pete, is 0 for 2 at the free throw line. I mean, does Karl get fouled here?
It was bad, but I low-key was rooting for him to get a 70-point game. And if they call it that foul, or even if Cat made the 3 that he shot at the last second, you never know. Maybe we're talking about Cat having an all-time record for like 70-something points. But still, he scored 62. And Cat has had some crazy scoring performances, but he set a franchise record, and B set a franchise record. This is just becoming more and more common, I guess. And so I can see where the guy's coming from. But scoring 70 points is still a crazy feat. Really, the more players scoring 70 points is just proof of every player in the NBA really just getting better. Because I guarantee you, a player of Donovan Mitchell, because Donovan Mitchell is, let's say, a top 20, top 30 player in the NBA right now. Is a top 20, top 30 player in the NBA in 1985 dropping 70? Probably not. Any player to drop 70 in the past has been like a top 10 guaranteed player. David Thompson. At least I'm like 99% sure David Thompson was a top 10 player at this time. But David Robinson, Kobe, you feel me? These are big names. And then recently, it's just been guys who are just really good at scoring the ball. Really good at knowing how to get the ball in the basket. And players over the past few years have been getting better and better at that. So it makes sense that people are scoring 70 more often. And I guess another thing with scoring in general that I do want to talk about, I guess is centered around this Bulls-Suns game that I watched. it was a good game. The Bulls were up by 20 and sold the game, which was kind of funny to see because I had the Bulls low in my preseason rankings, so I am kind of rooting against them just so I could be right. But at the same time, it was kind of sad. If I was a Bulls fan, it would be really sad. It was crazy though, because the Bulls were up by 20, and I remember I saw a stat on the screen. It said KD 8 missed field goals in a row, and that was in the third quarter. Then DeMar, if I'm being honest, let me search this up because I have no idea what he actually had on the night, but he made some clutch shots at the very end, but he was only 8 for 17. That's funny because I was at the 8-17 mark in my video, in my recording. When I was watching the game, he did not look 8 for 17. He looked like he was missing a lot. But I guess he had a better game than I expected. And then if you look at KD at 43, 6 and 8, a steal and 2 blocks, 16 for 32 from the field, 6 for 15 from 3. So he took a lot of shots and he made a lot of shots. And the thing with this Suns team that I was going to talk about, I'm going to make another more in-depth video about the Suns, but the Suns are very offense heavy. They have 3 of the greatest, our best offensive weapons in basketball right now. And that's very useful. But the Suns aren't very good right now. And I guess you can rely on scoring a lot. You can rely on scores like Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. Those are 3 guys, and at the very least, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, when they're on fire, they're on fire. Nobody can stop them. But you have to add on to that part, when they're on fire, nobody can stop them. The only one who can really stop them is themselves. That's what I really want to make the point of. Because great scorers, the only one who can stop them is themselves. They're the ones who limit themselves to how they play. Because Kevin Durant was missing a lot of shots in the third quarter that he could have easily made. And then in the fourth quarter, he was unguardable. He could not miss. They couldn't do a thing to stop this man. He was hitting midi after 3 after midi after. He could not be stopped. So the thing is, Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers of all time. The only thing that's stopping him from scoring 70 every day is himself. It's just he's limiting himself. And I'm not saying that as like a hit on Kevin Durant. I'm not saying, oh, Kevin Durant's bad. He's not playing his full potential. I'm saying that with any great scorer, really the only one who could stop them really is themselves. Because when you have the ability to score at such an efficient rate, at such a effective level, I'm using big words today, but you feel me? You can't be stopped. Unless you stop yourself. DeMar DeRozan was stopping himself because he had a lot of good shots. They put Grayson Allen on DeMar DeRozan. And that matchup worked some points of the game, like when they did the coach challenge and eventually got turned over. But still, DeMar scored there, but whatever. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how DeMar, he had a lot of opportunities in the third quarter to score, but he missed. He had some easy shots, easy layups. Not exactly easy, but shots that we know DeMar DeRozan can make, but he wasn't making them. And then you take him to the fourth quarter, he had Grayson Allen and Keita Bates-Diop on him, 2 decent defenders at the very least, and he was making a lot of clutch shots. So it's really about the shooters getting in their groove, getting in their slump. Because when you're in your groove, you can have nights like this with KD where you drop 43. And this wasn't even KD's best night. This is just a really good night for KD. KD's best night, he can drop, I think the crazy thing is KD's career high is like 54. And you'd expect it to be like way more than that. But yeah. You could have a guy like Embiid or a guy like Cat drop 62 or 70. You could have a guy like Dame drop 71. You could have a guy like Donovan Mitchell drop 71. There's certain nights when you're playing at a certain level as a scorer that you can't be stopped. The only one limiting you is yourself. And when it comes to that point, that's why you can't rely on offense. And I'm going to talk about that more in the Suns video that I make. Because the Suns aren't the greatest team in the NBA right now. And I do want to talk about them in an actual in-depth video, not just one of these where I like turn on the video, start talking, you feel me? So that's gonna come soon. Okay, not soon. I'm not making any promises, but eventually. Really, the main point of this video, great scorers score, but the only way, what's the point of this video? I guess this whole video is based off the comment. So I guess in response to the comment, do 70-point games mean anything anymore? Absolutely. 70 points is a ridiculous achievement that any player should be proud of, especially nowadays when you're just like, you think about all the guys in the past, how many were able to do that, as my computer turns off, and now you're one of those few on that little list. Yeah, that's amazing. But since scores are getting better, eventually the bar is just gonna keep raising. So I guess there is a bit of truth to what he was saying. 70-point games used to mean something, and they still do mean something. It's just eventually, since the players are getting better, think about what Curry be doing, and you could say, oh, making 8 threes in a game used to be something special. And that's 100% justified, because you're right. It used to be something special, but now you see people making 8 threes a game on a nightly basis. So really, it's all about the evolution of the game. Players are getting more skilled, and it's not a bad thing. It's just something actually to congratulate the players for, because they're getting better at their craft. They're doing better. They're getting better than the people who came before them. So it's a good thing, honestly. And that's all I have to say. Players are getting more skilled. Who's dropping 80 next? Comment down below. Comment down below who you think is going to be the next guy to drop 80. Because we had Will with 100, we had Kobe with 81. The closest we gotten is like 71 with, at least in recent history, 71 with Dame and Diamond. But yeah, who you think is the next guy to drop 80? Is it Luka? Is it Embiid? Tell me down below. I want to hear from y'all. And are videos coming consistently on this channel? I have ideas. There might be a few videos in the coming future. I'm still going to talk about the Siakam trade because that was amazing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I mean, I might have just rambled and went on and on and on this video, but I had fun recording it, I guess. Listen, I haven't recorded one of these in a long time, so I'm going to be a bit rusty, but we'll get back to it eventually. I'm gonna try and be on this channel at least once a month. Okay? Give me time. But yeah. Also, it's finals week for me right now, so I'm struggling. Well, I'm not really struggling, but you feel me? I'm talking too much. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a nice day.